there was a little bit of demand from the customer side for this particular webinar. So hopefully this does meet some of the demand and the questions that were out there. Certainly if it doesn't, we can follow up later, and that's part of, you'll see that at the end. But yeah, we're going to start looking at the, design intent part of the reference viewer and so on and so forth. Okay, so I must say, during my training sessions over many years, many people don't even know that the reference viewer is there. So if you don't, then I guess maybe today is the time where you might get your first understanding of that, or introduction to that. So our agenda today is to firstly understand what design intent is, then look at the reference viewer and all the different bits and pieces of the reference viewer, and then also, as advertised, look at the design and evolution trees, which are certainly more important, I suppose, if you're doing a surface model like what you see here. There'll be a number of demos interspersed, and certainly at the end we'll have question and answers and provide you with some information about further resources. So we probably need to just make sure we've sort of understand what we mean when we talk about parent-child references in Creo. So if for those of you who've used Creo before, you would understand that if we put a feature in, let's say an extrusion, and then on the edge of the extrusion you place a round or a fillet, right? There's some relationship between those features. So the block is the parent, the round is the child, okay? So in that scenario, yes, the parent must exist, the block must exist for the round to work, okay? If the block doesn't exist, well, the round can't, okay? So, I mean, there's lots of other examples here. You can see another example that we're talking about here is a hole is placed on a surface and the surface is deleted or moved, okay? So these are obviously important things that are essential for us to maintain our design intent. And design intent we'll talk about in a moment, but basically just means, like, if we're putting a hole on a surface, which surface are we putting it on and where is it dimensioned to, and so on and so forth, okay? So you can use the reference viewer to identify and manage these dependencies. If you're creating a model from scratch, what I guess you probably know, and you've probably thought about it a little bit, but the reference viewer certainly can still be used at that point, although late, it's probably very relevant a little bit down the track, and if you're inheriting somebody else's model. Okay, so design intent, what is it? So in this case here, in the image that's shown, effectively we have a base feature, let's say the rectangular extrusion, very thin, and then we've just placed a boss on that surface, or extruded cylinder, right? So when we place that, we have some options. So we place it like 4 whatever it is, millimeters, inches from one side, or we could place it in the middle, or we could place it relevant to that. Now, in each scenario here, I guess that whatever the design intent that we choose there is will be maintained. So if we decide to make this longer, or we decide to make this shorter, then that 4 is still maintained. If we, in this situation here, if we were to make it shorter or longer, it doesn't matter, this is going to stay in the middle, okay? And obviously, I think you probably understand on the other side. So this design intent is very important inside Creo, okay? So how do we want the model to behave? We want it to be predictable once changes are made, okay? So for model stability, simplifying future edits, as it says there, okay? So that's really important when we're setting up the initial model.